Notices your bulgy wulgy.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, well, let's just go in then, I guess.
Aloha! What can I get you? Aw, you're a cutie. You know, we don't
Tits.
normally have no kids in here.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Fire in the hole, motherfucker! I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear what you were saying. All I was doing was Shoryuken! Oh! Shoryuken into a stab to the back of the neck! Oh, he's dead. He dead. Suffering. I hate it all. Oh, I'm gonna rob this bitch. She's not in here. I'm gonna rob her. Let me rob this bitch! It's not my fault she's not in here.
That was impressive.
I'm on fire! The one thing I'm not immune to! The fuck!
Oh no.
Out of all the things, it sets me on fire.
It's because you're immune to water, sorry.
I'm immune to literally everything but fire. What the fuck?
I'm gonna raise you for bullets.
I found him. Got him. You fool! You thought you could fight me? You fool! I kill you now. I stab you in the butt. Panda, where you at? I'm dying.
It'll be just like the old times.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Charles! Just like the old time.
This is the greatest war.
Wow. How rude. Who littered? Was it all of you? I'm gonna have to kick your ass now for littering on the beach. You don't litter on the beach, motherfuckers. You don't litter on the fucking beach. You keep the beach nice and clean, motherfuckers! Ow. I'm gonna take your money now, and that's it. That's what happens when you litter on the beach.
You sure asking them's gonna work after last night? I don't think they'll say yes.
Okay, so they are the pirates. Okay.
I won't be doing any asking. Guys like these take a more resolute approach.
Yeah, it's called punching them as hard as I can in the face. It's a good song to come into. That's a good song to come into. Anyways, ahoy everybody! Captain Handpiss here at your service. Welcome all. I don't really... Oh, well, hold on. Oh. Every man that I see is a potential threat. And I'm possessed if it isn't nice. You've heard me saying that smoking wasn't my only vice. But now it isn't true. Now everything is new. And all I've learned has overturned. I beg of you, don't go wasting your emotion. Lay all your love on me. Sorry, I was distracted by the song. I saw we got a clip from Pander. I wasn't paying attention to it, though. Anyways. Hi, everybody. It's Captain here. It's Sunday, you know. It's our lovely way of starting the stream with just chatting, talking about how the week went and all that fun jazz. Me cute? Never. I'm never cute. I'm never cute. I'm handsome, but cute? No. Cute? No. Handsome? Yes. Cute? No. Never cute. Never cute. Always handsome, though. Anyways, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about for this week, if I'm being honest. I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I didn't really take any notes of what I wanted to talk about, because that's what I've been trying to do lately, is like taking notes of things to talk about from the week, because that just helps out a lot for me, right? But I haven't really had much. I haven't had really much to happen this week in general, as Panda wins some doubloons. Panda, you won some doubloons. Oh, now I gotta lower the percentage. Because that's how that works. You win, then the percentage goes down. Anyways, yeah, it's tough to say. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about this week. I guess I could mainly talk about my work. Because that's realistically all that's happened this week is, so I think we talked about it last week a little bit, how when I came back from the Dominican Republic, they added stops onto my Thursdays, which I kept trying to tell them, don't add stops to my Thursdays because my Thursdays are already long. So because they did that, I basically had to try to rearrange my entire week, right? So this week was the week where I rearranged the entire thing and tried it out. My route is not optimized anymore, and I fucking hate it. So before, my route was very optimized, and that was why I wasn't working a lot of hours, because my route was so optimized that I was able to get through shit quickly. But now my route is completely unoptimized, that I actually worked overtime. It was only an hour of overtime, but I worked an hour of overtime this week. I haven't worked overtime once since I've had this route. So I got this route about a year ago. So for an entire year, I have not had to worry about working overtime. I've only worked like 33, 34 hours a week, and it was fucking great, and I loved it. It allowed me to, you know, be able to do things more, like be able to do like the co-op streams that I was talking about for the King. It allowed me to have more time to like edit videos. And these last few months, I had been making progress on editing my videos and stuff. But this week itself, it sucks. Because even though it's only an hour of overtime, and technically, yes, I'm working 40, because I know out there in the world, everyone's working 40, everyone works overtime, stuff like that. And I get that that's part of the job, but when you go from working only 33, 34 hours and still be able to have your bills paid, it's nice, because it was nice to have that nice work-life balance, because I didn't have to worry about my bills. My bills were consistently getting paid. And I know this might sound like whining and complaining, because I know it's a lot tougher out there for a lot of other people, but I'm talking about me now. Because before COVID, I was that guy. I was the guy that always put work ahead of my own life. I was consistently, I'd always volunteer for overtime. I'd always be working. Working overtime, doing whatever I can to make money. But after COVID, once COVID hit, I made a leap to doing a different job, which was DoorDash and Uber Eats. And when I made that switch to DoorDash and Uber Eats, that was when I learned about a work-life balance, because I didn't know what a work-life balance was. My 10 years of working in warehousing, never once did I know what a work-life balance was. It wasn't until I went to DoorDash and Uber Eats when I learned what a work-life balance was. And honestly, if it was paying the bills, honestly, I probably would still be doing DoorDash and Uber Eats if it was able to pay the bills. The reason why I stopped doing DoorDash and Uber Eats is because, unfortunately, it got to the point where it was not paying for the bills. And that's why I took this job, because the job was paying really high. The job was paying really, really high to where I didn't have to worry about my bills anymore. And I could actually had expenses that I could actually afford. But this week sucks because it honestly probably will just take a moment for it to kind of register and for me to get into the flow of things. But my depression hit hard this week. My depression hit me fucking hard this week. Because I know we streamed on Friday, and Friday was a fun time. Friday was a good time. I enjoyed Friday. Friday was a good time. But Thursday when I got home, I was angry. I was legit pissed and angry, and I was tired. I was tired and angry because there was no reason why there's no reason why I should have got the stops, basically. There's no legit reason why I should have gotten the stops that I got, because they're nowhere near any of my delivery areas. So the main problem that I have with these new stops that I have is, so with how my delivery works, I have to drive far north. That is my typical delivery area. My delivery area is typically very far north. So my route, it's easy, but there's a lot of drive time to it. Literally, my Thursdays, I spend about 4 hours of just driving. Nothing else but just driving. So now I had to change up the route because these new stops were really affecting my Thursday to where I was working 14, 16-hour shifts, which is not safe as a driver. A driver should not be working more than 12 hours because that's a huge, huge fucking safety hazard. Because I'm not even going to lie, there's been plenty of times where I've almost fallen asleep behind the wheel. There's been many a times where I've almost fallen asleep behind the wheel just because the drive is so long and it's traffic. It's terrible fucking shitty traffic here. That's why it's such a long drive. It's not that so much the distance. I mean, the distance is far, but it's the fucking traffic, dude, because no one here knows how to fucking drive. They're all fucking idiots. There's an accident literally every fucking day on the freeway where I fucking drive, and it's terrible. It's fucking awful. So these stops, basically, they're these stops are very soul crushing because basically I will get up all the way to my area, finish all my stops, and then call it, oh man, I'm done. But then I have to realize, oh shit, I still have like 2 or 3 more stops I need to go do. So now I have to drive all the way back down, and instead of doing where it was before, where I got to drive straight back to the plant and call it good, now I have to drive all the way back down and then make a pit stop basically for these stops that I shouldn't even have. Now, one of the new stops that I did get, that one I'm perfectly fine with because it's literally right on the freeway. So it's like an easy get on the freeway, get off, or it's an easy get off the freeway, get on the freeway. So that stop I don't mind. But the other additional 2 stops that I got, I have to get off the freeway, go 15 minutes off of the freeway to go do these stops, and then drive 20 minutes back into the freeway where I'm stuck in traffic again. If it wasn't for the traffic, it probably wouldn't be as much of a problem. And if it wasn't for the fact that these stops have to be a twice a week stops, probably also wouldn't be a problem. Because basically, if it wasn't a twice a week stop, I could easily make it work. If it wasn't a twice a week stop, I could have easily kept my route the same and only had to worry about putting those stops on Monday instead of Thursday. Because I could have made it work on Mondays. Because Mondays I have a little bit more time to be able to do that. And one of the other stops I talked to already, she said I can move to Tuesday. So if it wasn't a twice a week stop, I could make it work. But because it's a twice a week stop, it makes it complicated. But now that I found out that maybe I can change one of them to not being twice a week, it's like, okay, well, I've already changed up my entire route. Am I going to change my entire route back to the way it was now? That's kind of... It's messy. It's very messy, and I hate it. And it really affected me this week because, like, on Wednesday basically became my new Thursday. I didn't get back home on Wednesday till, like, 4 o'clock, 4:30, which is very different from how it was before. Because on my Wednesday used to be my shortest day. Wednesdays I used to get home at, like, 11. And now I'm getting home at, like, now I'm getting, like, back at, like, 4:30. And it fucking sucks. And then on Thursday, I'm like, okay, you know what? Thursday shouldn't be too bad. Thursday, I still got back at 4:30. I'm like, what the fuck? My route got worse after the rearrangement of things. It got worse after I rearranged it. It's like, I could have kept it the same and just probably worked the 14, 16-hour shifts on Thursday, but it's like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to work 14, 16-hour shifts on one day. So, let me move out of the way.
no. Whoa, Tony Tidy put some musty dusty in your Twinkie. Oh no.
What?
Who's put on a good show?
What? Tony Tiggy? Butterscotch explain. Tony Tiggy. What happened there? Oh, let me just. Also, I'm hanging in there, Butterscotch. We were just talking about my work week and how much I fucking hate these new stops that I got. And oh shit, I forgot to add the number. Hold on here. Butterscotch. Yeah, 1,000. There we go. But the Tony Tiggy put some musty dusty in your Twinkie Winkie. Oh no! It's so weird. That's such a phrase to say. But yeah, because of this new route, I felt my depression again. Like my depression fucking it hit me hard on Thursday. Like Thursday night I got home and I was pissed. I was annoyed, upset, pissed. I didn't have the energy to do anything because I was just so annoyed and pissed that it was upsetting. And then Friday was fun. I enjoyed it. Friday was a good time. Friday was a good way to get out of things. And that's kind of like why I like streaming as well. Because streaming's my outlet. I'm not even going to lie. Streaming's my outlet to get away from everything in a sense. Like I don't have to worry about the things outside and stuff and all that. And it helps me. It helps me out a lot and being able to talk to all of you, the viewers and stuff like that. And you know, having discussions and playing games. And you know what? Friday was a lot of fun because I hadn't played Dead by Daylight in so long that I forgot that Dead by Daylight can be fun when you're not dealing with the toxic people. But yeah. But I mean, afterwards, after the stream, I kind of was ready to go to bed and stuff like that, and I did. But the next day, it came back and it just hit me hard. Yeah. So yesterday it had hit me. It hit me really really hard yesterday. I was fine in the morning and stuff like that. It wasn't until also hi Soups. It wasn't until after it wasn't until we got to game night. Because we did a game night. We were supposed to do D&D yesterday, but I canceled it because my work week was so shitty. I just didn't have the energy to DM, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to DM this weekend, but I still want to hang out and play games. And we did, but for some reason my depression just kicked in, and it's like, okay, now I'm not having fun, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, I'm not enjoying this game. Can we play something else? I mean, I know I could have, but it was one of those things where it's just like everyone's having fun with this game, but I don't want to be the guy that's like, yo, I'm not really having fun with this game. I'd like to change it. And then when we did change it, we changed it to another game. I'm like, I really don't want to play this game either. So it sucked. And so when I got home, like I just kind of went into my office and just sat in my office for a little bit. And I mean, I played Munchkin on the computer for a little bit, but even after I played like a round of Munchkin on the computer, and then after that, I'm like, I don't want to do anything, and I went to bed. So I think a lot of that correlates to the job. I think these new stops that I got, unfortunately, is affecting my mental health because and it's not to say that I don't want to take stops. It's not to say that I don't want to take stops. Because I don't mind taking stops. I don't mind having stops added to my route. But when there's stops that don't make sense, it sucks because now I'm taking this extra time for stops that I shouldn't be doing. So it's like, what the fuck? And I hate it. I hate it so much. And see, Soups, it sounds like you're having the opposite. It sounds like you're having the opposite of me because, like, I wasn't working hours. I was only working 33 hours a week, but my bills were getting paid, and that's all I cared about. And that's something that really annoyed me too. Is when I told my boss about that, it's like, I'm just putting more money in your check, and I'm like, Steve, I don't give a fuck about the money. My bills are getting paid. I don't care about getting more money. I want my time. That is literally, and that's something that I think that's something that a lot of like managers don't understand or care about for that matter. Probably not. Because my boss is one of those people that's like, he's, what is it? You know how there's bosses, he's basically, he's Michael Prescott from The Office. That's essentially how he is. He's like Michael Prescott from The Office, because he's very like go team and always trying to be supportive of what people are doing and stuff like that. But he goes a little too far with it a lot of times because my last boss who I'm friends with, he's kind of the same way too, where like he's very supportive like what you do outside of work, but he's also like on top of you getting your work done as well. But this is like, he can be a little too much for me because like, oh, I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you. And it's like, oh, you do such a good job. He overpraises me. And that's something that I've never had before in a work life. I've never been the type in work to get praised for things. I was always the type of person that would basically stick to the shadows, get the job done, and not get acknowledged for the work that I do. So he definitely is different because he acknowledges the work I do, but he overdoes it a lot of times. So when I told him like, hey, I don't like, this is not doing me any favors. Like, but we're just putting more money in your check. You're not working that many hours. I'm like, Steve, I don't, oh, I said his name now. I don't care I don't care about the money. I don't care about the money. I really don't. If I cared about the money, then I would have came up and asked you guys, hey, I need more stuff on my route. But I don't care about the money. I care about my time. I spent so much time worrying about money and focus on jobs about money. Money. But I don't need the money. Like, my check was paying the bills, and that's all I cared about. And this has always been my story. Anytime I've had anyone ride with me, anytime I've had a helper ride with me, I've always said the same thing over and over again. As long as my bills are getting paid, I don't care. I don't care how much money I am making. As long as my bills are getting paid. You pay my bills, well, call it good. You just let me have my free time. That's all I care about. Let me have my free time, you know? That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Just free time. That's all I care about. Also, Kurt Stalking Blader, thank you so much for the hydrate. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, that's really about it that I have for the week, though. Like I said, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about for this week, just because like work was a pain in the ass this week, so it kind of sucked. And I wasn't really paying attention too much to Twitter or anything of that stuff. So I don't really have anything like updated wise I've been catching my eyes that I've wanted to talk about. WrestleMania's coming up though. WrestleMania's coming up pretty soon. WrestleMania's gonna be on Easter. Did you all know that? Did you all know that WrestleMania is gonna be on Easter weekend this year? I didn't know that until I checked my calendar and I saw WrestleMania was coming up on Easter weekend. I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna be a fun Easter. I have no idea if I have anything planned for Easter, but I'm definitely gonna be watching WrestleMania. Yes, WWE. Yeah. WrestleMania. We're on the road to WrestleMania, y'all. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're gonna have a good old time. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. John Cena finally turned heel. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in a triple threat match. Seth Rollins being so upset because CM Punk has to be part of the main event too, which I'm not even gonna lie, I'm kind of upset about that too. I'm not a CM Punk fan. Look, when I used to be a CM Punk fan. But when he left the WWE, he left for legitimate reasons, and I respected the reasons why he left. It wasn't until he started bashing on all the fans that I'm like, oh, fuck you then, buddy. Then I'm like, fuck. Yeah, then I just haven't liked CM Punk then since. I'm like, oh, dude, fuck off, man. So I'm excited though. I think those are the two main events. I did find it funny though, and so this is something that has been brought up that I've been noticing too. So Royal Rumble, typically the way that it was always, and they still word it this way, the way that it always worked is that if a person won the Royal Rumble, they would be main eventing WrestleMania. That's how it was always been. That's how it was. That's typically how it was supposed to always be. Is that if you win the Royal Rumble, you main event WrestleMania. Neither Royal Rumble winners are main eventing WrestleMania. Jey Uso and Gunther are not main eventing, and then Charlotte and Tiffany Strada. Honestly, I haven't been paying attention to the women's division that much, honestly, except for Rhea Ripley. I've been paying attention to that stuff, but like Charlotte Flair, I'm like, who cares? I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair either. So I'm like, oh, she's fighting Tiffany Strada. Had not been paying. Honestly, I haven't really been paying attention to SmackDown that much at all. I've been paying attention more to Raw, but that's because Raw's on Netflix now and SmackDown isn't. Unless I get a VPN, then I can watch SmackDown that way. But you know, that is how it is. But I am excited for the Cody Rhodes versus Cena match. I am pretty excited for that. It's going to be good. I don't even like. Yeah, I don't like Charlotte Flair either. I haven't really ever been a fan for Charlotte Flair. Yeah, I've never been a fan for Charlotte Flair. I've just not cared for her. I feel like she she rides the Flair name, but tries to. It's like this weird thing where it's like. It's a weird thing that I feel that she's trying to like distance herself from the Flair name, but then uses the Flair name. You know, it's weird. Like that's the feeling that I always got from Charlotte Flair. Is like she always wants to like prove that she's not just Ric Flair's daughter.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
No Joe Hendry at WrestleMania though. He only got to appear at the Royal Rumble. He can't appear at WrestleMania. Who knows? He might appear at WrestleMania. He's gonna be in PUBG now. Did y'all hear about that? Joe Hendry's gonna be in PUBG. I'm a little upset that he's not in Fortnite though. I would have enjoyed it more if that he was in Fortnite, because then we could have got that turn emote. That would have been great. Oh yes, that's because we believe in Joe Hendry here. We believe in Joe Hendry here. Yes, we're believers of Joe Hendry here. But yeah, no, WrestleMania's coming up. That'll be good. That'll be good to watch. I will be going to SmackDown. Not this week, but next week actually. Yeah, I think it is next week. I think I'm going to SmackDown next week. Let's see. Let me check the calendar really quick. Yes. So I'll be going to SmackDown on the 11th, and then WrestleMania is on the 19th and 20th. I thought I was going to the SmackDown before WrestleMania, and I'm like, oh, that would have been really cool. But no, I'm going to the SmackDown the week before WrestleMania. Apparently there's still a lot of ticket sales for WrestleMania as well. I saw a thing saying that, I saw a thing that was saying that, the WrestleMania is going to have like the lowest attendance since I think 31 or something like that. Yeah. I am going to SmackDown in person. Yeah. We're me and my partner are going to go to SmackDown in person. We're going to have a joyous time. Because my partner's a big Kevin Owens fan. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll go to SmackDown. Kevin Owens is on SmackDown. We can go to SmackDown. So, because my partner's never been to a wrestling event, so I wanted to take her to a wrestling event, and I wanted to take her to SmackDown because Kevin Owens is a SmackDown. She really likes Kevin Owens. She's also a big Rhea Ripley fan, but Rhea's probably not going to be there because she's a Raw superstar. But I mean, they kind of been correlating now more and more about like people going to back. They're going back to the whole. People can go to Raw if they're SmackDown superstars and vice versa. They're starting to fall slightly back into that. But I am glad, because this was something that I always got disappointed with, is that the storylines are actually kind of staying separate for the most part. I do like that they're keeping the storylines actually separate. So like SmackDown has its own storylines and Raw has its own storylines. And I really like that, because it was getting to there was a point, and this is why I stopped watching wrestling, where whatever was happening on Raw was getting repeated on SmackDown. Like they were having the exact same matches from Raw, putting it on SmackDown. I'm like, I'm just like, I just felt like I was watching the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting done with that. But then I started getting back into it. And then as soon as they announced that Raw was going to be on Netflix, I'm like, oh cool, I can watch wrestling again, because I don't have cable anymore. Because all I've been doing for like the last few years was watching the clips on YouTube. I still watched WrestleMania every year though. That's a tradition that will never go away. I watch WrestleMania every year, even when I wasn't following like the program. I was still watching WrestleMania every year. That will never change. I think I've only ever missed one WrestleMania. In my entire life, I've only missed one WrestleMania, and that was WrestleMania 20. That was the only WrestleMania that I had ever missed in my life, was WrestleMania 20. Because WrestleMania 19 was in Seattle, then the WrestleMania 20 was back in Madison Square Garden, and that was the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match. Yep. WrestleMania 20 was the only one that I missed. Yeah. But yeah. I don't think I have anything else to really talk about. I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else to talk about, really? Anything coming up? SmackDown, we saw that. Leo got a haircut. Leo got himself a haircut. He's very short haired. He's very thin now. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to really talk about because, like I said, I didn't really take notes for the week. I mean, for the week, it's just been work, and that's about it, really. So, I mean, with all that out of the way, I'll probably do it a little bit later. It's been a while since I put pictures of Leo on the Discord. I probably do that in a little bit, but okay. Well, since I'm kind of out of things to talk about, let's go ahead and swap things over to Dead by Daylight, because that was what was voted for. We're still going to play it. We also have Zero Escape in about an hour and a half, so it'll be a short game of Dead by Daylight, but it'll be Dead by Daylight nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and get things swapped over, and we'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.
Witness my fall.
Burn badge. Can't die here.
Cocky, aren't we?
Play this up. I was waiting for that. There. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. There.
Wait.
It's a test. Nice. Play this up. Nice try.
God damn it, how many turns? Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't die here.
Where are we going for porn? Hold on here. Oh, there's a hole there for porn.